Here we go. And just making sure we've got the screen now as well and the sound. Right. If you can see my video and the sound, put your hands up, please. And can you hear us, Chitisha?
If the Industrial Revolution was like the world growing a muscular system and deploying physical capital was like sparking the system's motor skills, could the digital revolution, as economist Brian Arthur has argued, be akin to the economic body developing a neurological or sensory system? If it is the case, how can we be sure our human interests will be protected within this evolving neural net? How do we make sure that a would-be artificial intelligence doesn't work against us? Markets were once a place where people traded face-to-face, first with actual goods in hand, later in exchange for promises on goods kept elsewhere. Today, the most important economic interactions occur in an abstracted digital marketplace. Instead of traders locking heads, it's algorithms that barter on their behalf. For now, we trust these algorithms to operate in our interests because we're the ones that programmed them. But the more complex such computational programs get, and the more insatiable their appetite for data becomes, the more likely they will be to learn independently from their mistakes. Will that make them unpredictable? Or will algorithmic evolution take the course of human evolution to a point where they too discover the benefits of coordination over competition? What is the nature of the second machine age if and when it decides to improve on the sum of its parts, not just its individual components?
If you can see the video, all the parts, if you can put your hands up, you'll validate that. Thank you very much.
Who rules the world when the algorithms rule themselves?
Okay, so I'm just going to switch screen and go back to share the screen and stop share. Okay, so we've got almost 5 participants already on the platform. We'll be logging at 6. So if you can just quick hi. So I'll start with Kishan, or if I start from Nayar right at the bottom. Hi Nayar, can you hear us okay?
Yes, yes.
Nayar, so what are we expecting today for all the participants today here? What are we expecting quickly on the actual presentation today?
Yes, so I'll be talking more about the AI part and how you can get into AI if you do not know much about this. And we are going to make you feel like, so you don't have to be afraid of AI. So this is what we are trying to remove some misconceptions about it.
Okay, Nayar, thank you very much indeed for your comforting word about not being afraid. Thank you very much indeed. We move on to Kishan. Nice background, fintech there, Kishan. What can we expect today?
Hi everyone. So today the main thing is AI in the financial sector. So as we all know, AI has been the next big thing. The next is now. So we are expecting you to gather much information on AI, fintech, and welcome.
Thank you, Kishan. Powerful comment from you. Chitisha, the lead organizer. Thank you, Chitisha, for organizing this event today and bringing all the speakers together. Chitisha, what can we expect today as we start?
Yeah, thank you very much. So today, I wish that we can uncover practical solution in addressing AI and machine learning partnerships. We wish to uncover digital optimization for the next financial future in the world, and yeah, we want to have this amazing thing going on.
Okay, all right, thank you very much, Chitisha. And finally, Neha should be a presenter as well on the webinar. Neha, what can we expect roughly on the presentation today?
I'll be giving a business perspective on the fintech ecosystem and all the different types of fintech tools that we have.
Okay, all right, thank you very much indeed. So we're gonna start the presentation now. So if I can ask you to switch off your video, please, as I do a formal introduction before I start to get to first. So everyone, if you can hear me, if you can see me as well, please put your hands up. We've got the Q&A tab as well, which we can use shortly. So I'm just gonna share the screen with you all. And we're going to start. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here today. Today, the webinar CPD talk is on AI and evolving technology in the finance industry, a fintech venture. So as you can see there, this is the flyer that was issued by Chitisha, and that's where we can see Nayar, Neha, and myself. So already the agenda for today is quick housekeeping, quick introduction by myself, a quick survey, very important as well, presentation and Q&A in between, survey finally, and then Q&A conclude. Thank you everyone for being here this evening, and your presence is much appreciated. Also, and thank you to Chitisha, Kishan, Neha, and Nayar for giving back their time and to inspire us all. So thank you again to being here. So you might be wondering who I am. So I love construction, love learning, love sharing, love people, passionate about giving back. And I've got almost 19 years in the construction industry now, and still loving it, and honored, privileged, and humbled to be hosting this event alongside all the participants today. So I just want to make sure it's not country technically, but it's which part of the island are you watching us today? So if you go to menti.com, please, even I'll suggest the panelists as well. If you can go to menti.com and type in 470. Okay, I'm just going to log in as well. 4701 9178, and then submit. And I'm going to share the screen of menti.com to you right now, and you will see the screen. And then if you can just tell us which part of the country you're watching us today. So I'm Catrabon. And good to see where you're from as well. So already there's two of us are from Catrabon. So please, you can just put your comment in which part of the country. 20 of you are watching us right now, and be great to see which part of the country are you watching us from. Okay, Flick on Flack, nice place. Chemin Grenier. I'll give you a few more seconds to put in where you're actually watching us. You can put your name as well if you want, your first name. But already we've got, yeah, Central Flack, great to see you there as well. So kind of the east, west, south of the country right now. 5 of you have already put in. Any else? Yeah, we've got Kishan. Okay, so so it's good to see a bit of a north, south, east, and west of the country. Pamplemousses as well, fantastic. I'm just going to now move to the next one, and it'd be interesting to see what's the definition of, what's your understanding of fintech. Already of you has put technical aspect, but what is your understanding of fintech? What does it mean, right? Anything, it could be anything. So it could be, you know, the future, it could be leadership, it could be anything. So what is your understanding of fintech? That could be anything. So already only one of you have voted or put in your comments. So anybody else, if you're struggling? Okay, so I can only see, no problem. Let's move on now quickly. I'm not too sure what's going on, but I'll see what you've got here. So already you've got Zaina from Castel, Pick on Flag, all of that. But in terms of understanding, it's coming up now. E-banking, finance and technology, technical aspects. So fantastic comment there from colleagues watching us right now. So I'm just going to switch back now and go back to the PowerPoint slides and go back there. And thank you for your contribution. So if you can see my slide, can you just put your hands up as well? Once again, before we proceed. So Thank you very much indeed. I can see your little hand. Thank you. So just quickly, financial technology, often referred to by snappy short form name of fintech, essentially mean the use of software and application to provide financial services. Often startup companies, these digital disruptors, a phrase that truly belonged to the 2014 buzzword, challenge existing banking system and processes by offering cheaper, quicker, and online services. Fintech offers the capability to make sure rapid and cheap transaction that could enable a whole variety of functions, such as peer funding of major projects or peer-to-peer energy purchasing. But the most immediate way it could make an impact on construction is in the digitalization of payment, and that can be also any other industry. It doesn't need to be construction, which kind of replace contract-driven payment notices and invoices. A digital system would speed up the system with e-sign invoices and verify receipt. And finally on that one, this could mean digital payment method allowing transparency between customers, main contractors, and the supply chain, and a clear understanding, write it down in one, a clear understanding of scope and the quality of product and services procured. And finally on this one, at the end of 2015, Forbes concluded, the banking industry is ripe for change with the rise of fintech startup, the growing popularity of blockchain technology, and the dominance of millennials. The industry is evolving, and the ever increasing need to prepare for cybersecurity threat remain top of mind as banks continuing evaluating new threats and potential fraud risks. This introduction provided a broad overview of the financial technology sector by setting the scene and explaining what is actually meant by fintech. And again, make it down, this come from 20 November 2015, and it talks about millennials and fintech are top of mind for traditional bank. So I'm just going to do a quick survey on Zoom. I'm just making sure I've got the survey right here as well. And I'm just going to place the survey now to all of you. And if it's a no and yes answer, I'm just going to run polling now. I'm just going to end polling. Sorry, I just want to relaunch it with the panelists. So apologies for that. Right. How many of you are aware of fintech? Be honest, be completely honest. How many of you know fintech inside out? Where we're going to get a really good one today. So how many of you are aware of fintech? Almost. Right. And it seems, let me just relaunch polling because I can only see 7 voted. Right. And relaunch polling. Right. I think the participant will see now. Here we go. So how many of you are aware of fintech? Sorry about that. If you can just put your comment in, just be genuine, just be frank, and we can take that from there. So already 75% of you have voted. I'm just going to end polling now and share the result with you. So if I can ask the speakers to put in their videos, all the speakers and the panelists, please. Keep voting. How many of you are aware of fintech? As you can see, I will start with Neha there. Neha, you can see the question on the screen. How many do you think are aware of fintech right now watching us on the webinar?
I would say, let's say 75 to 80%, at least.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So 75 to 80% says no, you mean?
No, like they know what is fintech.
Okay, so 80% yes. Nayar?
Yeah, I would say like 80 to 90%.
Okay. Kishan?
I would say 70%.
And Chitisha?
I would say 75.
Okay, so I'm just going to share the result now with you. And as you can see, it's 50-50. So 50% says yes, they are aware of it, and 50% says no. So fantastic here. So I'm just going to stop result. Thank you very much indeed for that one. And as I move on to the next one to presenter. But before that, I just want to show you a quick video, which is really good. I'm just going to introduce it to you now. So just bear with me as we kick off the video as well. So, right, here we go. And if you can see the video and you can hear the sound, please just put your hands up as I kick off now. Here we go. If you can hear the sound,
from the introduction of the Turing test in 1950 to the defeat of a world chess champion, artificial intelligence has come a long way to what it is today. It is transforming our lives in every way imaginable and in ways we haven't yet imagined. From finance to manufacturing and healthcare, AI and machine learning continue to augment and reinvent our everyday lives and businesses at an unprecedented pace. The future is here. Imagine a world where intelligent technology could prevent crime before it occurs, where AI fuels smarter prosthetics and changes people's lives, where surgical robots lead medical procedures, where AI helps farmers like never before, where transportation means self-driving cars, buses, ships and planes, and all of these supported by a progressive financial system where financial services are accessible to everyone. Some of these are already happening. With an unstoppable transformation led by AI, what is the future we want to shape? Where are we headed towards?
Okay, so fantastic there as well. A great video there. And I'm just going to go back to share the PowerPoint. So thank you for watching, everyone. And as it says, they're transforming our life in every way imaginable and in ways we have not yet imagined. So again, it will disrupt our life massively, and all the presenters today will show that to us. So the presenter, I'm going to start with Chitisha first. So if I can ask everybody to switch off their video, and if I can have, and also please mute yourself to not to any background. So Chitisha, thank you very much indeed. I'm now going to stop sharing. Can we have a big round of applause for Chitisha, please, for obviously organizing it, getting all the presenters together. And Chitisha, if you can share your screen as well. Fantastic. And guys, again, if you can put your hands up, thank you very much indeed for Chitisha putting that again. Thank you. Chitisha, take it away, all yours. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, thank you, Anil. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us in this FinTech venture today. By way of introduction, I am Chitisha Gunnoo, and today I am organizing this event with Kishan, who is just like me, is a future FinTech champion. Now, a little bit about the future FinTech program. Well, what it is actually, Future FinTech Champion is in fact a one-year program by the Mauritius Africa FinTech Hub. It is for young people to get more industry exposure in financial technologies, and this program, we currently have a whole set of deliverables aiming at equipping us with skills to make us in some way leaders, entrepreneurs, and innovators of tomorrow. So a bit about me, apart from being a future FinTech champion, I am currently a project and research assistant at the University of Mauritius. I work at the Faculty of Information, Communication and Digital Technology. And yeah, I am actively involved in project collaborated from the University Paris-Cergy-Pontoise, it is Laboratoire de Recherche. And well, I hold a bachelor's degree in applied ICT with specialization in security. And my subject of interest are artificial intelligence, IT management system, web and app development. I am currently pursuing my master's degree in applied computing and digital technology at the Open University of Mauritius. And apart from that, I'm also a freelance writer and mentor. I have contributed to various online articles for The Economist, which is based in London, Final Writing Camps in Omaha. And also I have provided IT mentoring sessions for young girls for the Women Tech Network based in USA. I am also a member of the Youth African Leadership Initiative and an active advocate for the hashtag Africa for Her movement since 2016. Where this aims at empowering young girls to reach their full potential in spite of the many difficulties they face all around the world. Now, coming back to FinTech, I like to highlight a very powerful quote by Christine Lagarde, who is the managing director of the IMF. She said that during a global conference on innovative technology in 2017, we are about to see massive disruption. Yeah, indeed, we we will get to see the impactful changes that financial technologies have brought up in the world later on. From the presentation of our two young innovators, Neha and Nayar. Now, fintech, a leading culture of change. So,
Chitisha,
Anil,
just a
I
quick
will
one.
request you if you
Yeah,
can put the
I'm just going to launch the polling now.
Yeah.
So there's a polling that I was going to share with all of you. And again, if you could please let us know, when was fintech first introduced on the global market? So take your time. Can you see the question there, Chitisha? Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, the panelists can vote as well. So if you can just please, when was fintech first introduced? 6% of you have already voted. Please put your question in. Fantastic. When was fintech first introduced on the global market? So again, it's a very important question for all of us today to really know when was fintech first introduced on the global market. 45% of you have already voted. So please, please, please put your question in and put your poll in as well. When was the first fintech introduced on the global market? So 60% of you have already voted. I know some of you might be struggling with the vote due to the geographical area of Zoom as well. I'm just going to end polling now and share that with you. 65% of you, almost 75% now have voted. I'm just going to share the result with you all. So let me just share that with you and share result. So the results are here, and 80% say 2000, 9% say 2003, a whopping 45% say 2005, and 27% says 2008. Please enlighten us, Chitisha. What is the actual result?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yes, it's in 2005. Let me just go to a small historical part of fintech. Actually, fintech came into existence in the 1886. That means it has over 135 years of existence in the world. But on the global market, it came in 2005, and that came from Chris Skinner, who is, we call him the father of fintech actually. And yeah, so Chris Skinner in 2005, he was the financial entrepreneur of Zupa. It is now a multinational company, and yeah, based on technology, he brought a total change in the industry. He applied his ideas to his company, and now we have many leading companies following him. Now, Chris Skinner, according to Forbes, he was labeled as the fintech most influential people, and he was voted best fintech speaker and the world game changer by Forbes magazine. So he has a lot of value in the fintech industry.
Yeah, just click on the slide, not to worry. Yeah.
Yeah, so now I just want you to have a small glance at the fintech ecosystem, who it is affecting in general. We have the fintech startups, we have payment, wealth management, lending, crowdfunding, we have capital market, insurance, fintech companies, we have technology developers, big data analytics, cloud computing, cryptocurrency, social media developers, media and financial customers. We have all these whole set of people who are getting concerned with fintech day by day. Even the government bodies, they are trying to implement fintech. They even say that in the budget speech in Mauritius, that they want to promote fintech and leading innovating technologies for the next generation. So I'm going back to the fintech landscape. So these figures were taken in December 2020. As you can see, we have a massive 5,779 companies in America who are implementing fintech, and they are the leading ones. We have big companies like Amazon, Netflix, KPMG. They are all promoting fintech, and they are getting very profitable in their investment day by day. And we have all the figures for all around the world. We have Asia with 2,849 startups forming, and these are the figures as at 20. So now, compared to many industries, I like to make a quick reference here. We have a few figures going on. So yeah, the buzzing disruptions. We have total transactions value of digital payment growing from $4.1 trillion in 2019 to $5.23 trillion in 2020. And this is the global digital payment value. These statistics were from Fortune.com, and these are predicted to rise by more than threefold in 2021. So that's very encouraging for firms who are considering fintech. And yeah, now $25.6 billion, that's a really big number. And actually, that's the whole fintech investment in the US for 2020, for the year 2020. And that too is predicted to increase massively in the coming years. Now, more figures. We have $504.13 billion. That's the total global fintech market investment as of 2019. And we have 56% adoption rate for banking and payment SMEs worldwide. We have 75% consumer fintech adoption rate for money transfer and payment worldwide. So as you can see, these figures are increasing very fastly. We have only 15 years of existence in the global market, but we have already so much investment going on. And so many companies are preferring to inculcate fintech for their services. Now we have these figures. So as you can see, most of the fundings are in the most of the figures.
Did you miss a slide there?
No, wait. Yeah, so we have all these figures with top 100 fintech companies by funding. And another thing I want to point out, yeah, so about the poll survey for
yeah,
just a small survey for our audience.
Yeah, the survey, yeah, no problem. Thank you very much, Chitisha. I'm just going to launch the survey now. And the survey is, do you think fintech industry has more women than men? That's a really interesting question from Chitisha there. Do you think fintech industry has more women than men? I would say, why not? You know, I think that's women's are everywhere now, and at the back of International Women's Day as well last month. I definitely think we should have more, and but right now I'm not too sure the existing situation. Obviously, Chitisha will tell us. But looking at the poll, it's getting really, really good. It's 50-50. You've got about 20 seconds left in terms of voting for the poll. Do you think fintech industry has more women than men? Right. So I'm just gonna end polling now. Most of you have voted. I'm just gonna end polling now. What's your thought on that one, Chitisha? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's more women.
More women, okay, fantastic. I'm just gonna share the result now. And the result is here. More women, 52% says more women, and 48% says more men. So what is it exactly? What's your thoughts on that one? You're based on
yeah,
your
actually, yeah, thank you. So actually, I wanted to say that because we have an article on Raconteur which said the future of fintech is in female. And compared to many other industries, this is quite encouraging to see more and more women breaking the glass ceiling, and that we have very powerful examples of leading women. We have Aileen Bedridge, who is partner of Passion Capitals. We have a lot of interesting people. And yeah, Anil, so you know about Serena Williams, I bet.
Yeah, the tennis champion superstar.
Yeah. So One amazing fact about Serena Williams is that apart from being a worldwide tennis player, she is one of the leading fintech investors in the world. She has invested in Serena Ventures. She's a CEO actually of Serena Ventures. And also with her interest in venture capital investment in fintechs, she also backs more than 50 companies founded by women and minorities group around the world. So this is great. This is amazing.
Okay, so fantastic, Chitisha. Thank you very much indeed for this presentation. Can we have a big round of applause for Chitisha, please? If you can have your little emoji hand for Chitisha on this small and snappy presentation. Thank you very much indeed, everyone. We're now going to move on to Kishan. So, Chitisha, if I can ask Khalid, if you can switch off your video, and Kishan, if you can put your video back on, and if you can share your slide as well, please. Again, everyone, if you can put your hands up for Kishan now to for a few minutes of presentation from Kishan. Kishan, if you can share your screen, please.
Hi guys, I'm Kishan. I'm sure you must know me because I'm the second most searched person in the world right now after Elon Musk. Right?
Are you?
Yes.
Wow.
Just like.
Kishan, it's an honor and privilege to have you being the third person.
I think it has been a mistake from Google.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
They are telling me to contact Planet Mars. It's a plan of Elon Musk, I'm sure. So today we are here to talk about AI. AI is the next big thing. It is not the next big thing now. It is now. The future is now for AI. In every industry we are using AI, and like fintech is a merging of finance and technology. So everyone is pushing toward achieving the highest efficiency rate. So we are going towards this $1 trillion business. So I welcome everyone. Like a bit about me, I have been in the banking sector for more than 5 years. Now I'm in the financial sector at Axis Investment, currently doing my bachelor degree in computer science and CFA, and I'm also a future champion tech at Mauritius Africa FinTech Hub. So I welcome you all to this journey of ours, and thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Neha. Thank you, Nayar. Thank you, Anil. Thank you, Chitisha. And I think our participants will have a great takeaway from this presentation. Thank you.
Kishan, just quick one before you switch off your slide. You've mentioned in your third bullet point, future fintech champion. Why future? Why can't you be fintech champion now?
Indeed, I am, but the course is for 1 year.
Okay.
So we must complete it.
So you need to pause first, and then you can claim future. Yeah. All right. Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Kishan. And let's move on to the next speaker now, the speaker of the day, Neha. So Kishan, if I can ask you to switch off your video, please. And we will take on Neha's. And just quickly, if I can, maybe at the back of the presentation. Yeah, I think we should be all right for that one. Neha, thank you for being here. If you can just share your screen, can we put your hands, please, for Neha, for giving her time, being an entrepreneur in fintech. So please put your hands up for Neha as well on that one. If you can share your screen, yeah, your screen's coming up, and please go on to full slides.
Okay, thanks, Anil. Can you hear me right? Can you see my slide?
Yeah, we can hear you, and we can see the slide. And again, like I said,
Great.
Thank you very much indeed. Take it away. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks. Thank you everyone who are present here today to listen to us talking a bit about our startup and AI and machine learning. I will be giving a broad overview and business perspective on the fintech ecosystem that we are at right now, and I will touch base on a very important part, the COVID crisis, the one that we're facing right now at this moment. But first, let me give you an overview on who I am for those who don't know me. So I will talk about my career path a bit. So I did the BSc Management and Business Informatics at the University of Mauritius. So what I love was only the marketing part and the basic IT, where innovation, and also we had modules about innovation that were very interesting me. After I graduated, I was in the project management field at Accenture, so for 2 years. And then I was again in the project management field at Barclays. I was involved in the transition of Barclays to Absa, which was an amazing journey and very enriching experience. So during my time, my corporate time, my 9-to-5 job, I started freelancing as social media marketer, content creator, and writing SEO articles as well. So this I started while I was at Accenture because I started developing a passion for marketing. So I didn't want to let this go. So I was doing that by the side on the weekends of the working hours, and also building up my skills on marketing. So eventually, last year in 2020, I decided to leave my 9-to-5 job and go full-time as a consultant in brand content strategy and digital marketing. And it was around that time that we founded the company, the startup as well. So here I was leaving my 9-to-5 job to start entrepreneurship venture, and also by following up my passion for marketing. So this is a bit about my career path. Now I'm going to talk about our entrepreneurial journey and how we founded the company. So me and Nayar, we were friends. Well, just before the webinar, Anil and I were talking, and he was asking how we met. So we met at the University of Mauritius. We've been friends since 8 years now. Wow, Nayar, can you believe that? We're on the same. We're still in the same group of friends that we talk on a daily basis. So how we got that idea? So like, we loved entrepreneurship. So we were always going to networking events, meeting a lot of people where they talk about their businesses, their local businesses, SMEs and all. And we found out that they had the main challenge, which was to deal with the financial activities, deal with the bookkeeping activities, even doing a simple quotation, invoices. It took a great amount of time. They were doing it on Excel. And we thought that we have so many amazing technological tools right now. Why are still people using Microsoft Excel? So this is where the idea came. Why not merge financial and technology? So we decided to, we got a business idea where you can use technology to do your quotations and your invoices. So this was our first business idea, and we signed up for the competition of Turbine in 2019. So we were there for the test drive where we pitched our business idea. We wanted to develop a chatbot. This is where the AI will come in, and when I will talk more about it. So we decided to develop a chatbot where you can talk to a robot and tell him to, hey, can you give me a quotation right now? So that saves, this is time saving. You no longer need to go on Excel, open your laptop. This is what you can do on your smartphone. So, of course, we pitched our idea at the Turbine competition. We were among the finalists in 2019. And in 2020, we decided to start the company. So this is a bit of how we started, and now it's been over a year of Le Fintech Limited, and it's been an amazing journey.
And Neha, just quick one as well. We can see the picture there. What was it there? I can see you were in an award.
Yeah, it was last year. Our startup was nominated for the best startup of the year 2020. by the Mauritius Business Award. So it was amazing that we were among the 5 startups that were nominated last year. Okay, so I'm going to move on to talk a very interesting topic. Before that, Anil, can you put the first poll on?
Yeah.
About the...
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm just going to launch the poll now. Can you see the poll, Neha?
Yeah, I can see it.
Have your business been affected by COVID-19? Definitely, some of us have been affected, but some have been thriving in COVID-19. So it's going to be interesting to see what the participant says on that one. Have your business been affected by COVID-19? And while people are voting, Neha, what's your thought on that one?
Because I'm going to show you how fintech came into the rescue for local businesses who were affected by the COVID-19. So even if you're a student, even if you don't have a company, if you know someone, a family, a relative, a friend whose business has been affected by COVID-19, so do tell us.
Okay, fantastic. You can also put on the Q&A as well, please. You can use the Q&A to put your statement, comments as well. Already, most of you have already voted. What's your thought before I share the result, Neha? What do you think? Is it a yes or a no?
It will be a yes.
Okay, fantastic. I'm just gonna share the result with you. And you are right, 61% of the participants right now have been affected. And 40% says no, they haven't been affected. So it'd be good to share your comments for panel discussion later on. So thank you very much indeed. What's your thought on the percentage there, Neha?
Yeah, well, from what I'm going to talk about, it seems that a lot of people have been affected by the COVID-19 worldwide and in Mauritius as well. So let me move on to the next slide. Okay. Okay. So the first lockdown happened last year when the COVID happened, and it was a very challenging time and stressful time for our local business, our SMEs, even organization. This is the first time that this happened where imagine if you have a store, a physical store, or even you own a restaurant, a shop, and suddenly you can't sell your product, you can't sell your services. And this is how your business used to work since for many years. So we talk with a lot of people who face different challenges during the lockdown. And this was the 3 main challenge that they were facing. Of course, the first one being they had to get online faster, especially a business who has never sold his product online. How do they do that? It was stressful. Secondly was customer queries, people calling, people sending messages. Do you do delivery? Are you going to sell your product during the lockdown? I need this urgently. How are you going to deliver to me? And the third one, of course, the digital payment, because we cannot meet people. We can do cash on delivery.
Absolutely.
So these were the 3 main challenges that businesses faced in Mauritius, and especially SMEs. Even big companies as well. So fintech to the rescue. Sorry. Okay. This is from Forbes, which based on the statistic, they found out that there was a 72% rise in the fintech apps. I'm going to talk a bit more about the fintech ecosystem in a while. And of course, the coronavirus has affected the global economy at large and in Mauritius as well. And undoubtedly, this has pushed many companies to adopt new strategies and new digital transformation in their companies because they had to. There was no way out. Okay. So our startup is mainly in the chatbot ecosystem, in the chatbot aspects. So I'm going to talk a bit about how those 3 that you're seeing on the screen has helped businesses. So why fintech has come to the rescue. Let's take from the bottom, digital payments. Just before the webinar, I saw an article about Visa, which which they shared that since the COVID-19 last year, they have made 1 billion transactions on their card, contactless payments. And this has been the most transaction that they made. It was during COVID-19. And this shows that how businesses had to adapt to this new change because they had to get paid. They had to sell their services. So digital payments and contactless payments, having a mobile e-wallet, everything has become very important in this aspect now. You can see how I will mention MIPS right now because they are one of our partners in the company. How MIPS we have integrated our product with digital payment gateway like MIPS, where people can sell their services and their clients can pay through debit card and credit card so easily, and it's safe. And e-commerce website, of course. I think the e-commerce website were the first and most thing that flourished during the COVID-19. All the businesses had to go online as fast as they can, and e-commerce websites were there to help to bring your businesses online. And last but not the least are chatbots. Why chatbots? Okay, I will, in simple terms, a chatbot is just a robot which is interacting with you. It is a chat. It is there to facilitate, to give a seamless experience and conversation to your customer. And this is what we do. Now imagine an e-commerce website integrated with a chatbot and a digital payment. So now you have a whole business operating online. Even if there was a crisis, we saw that we were COVID-free, and then we got back to in the lockdown. So we have to adapt. We have to have both ways. Okay. I will talk a bit about our startup now and our products and how we also, as our company, we help we have local businesses and SMEs in Mauritius during the lockdown period. Okay.
Now just a quick one as well. I've got a question here which I'd like to have. I know you talked about Chatbots earlier, but yes. I'm going to play this question quickly. I mean, now all of you know about it, but be genuine. I want to know your honest feedback on whether you knew about Chatbots or you didn't know. So just be honest about it. I think it's just purely for the discussion for the webinar as well. And of course, if you have any questions, use the Q&A, because just after Neha will talk, we will have our Q&A session as well. So I'm just going to end voting now. Most of you have already voted. And lo and behold, 70% said yes, they know about Chatbots. They have been talking about robots, or they've been talking with robots, and 70% said they haven't been talking to robots. So here we go. But just quickly, can you give us some example of Chatbots, Neha?
I will give you a lot of examples during my presentation right now.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks. Okay. So a bit about our startup. I think I talk a bit about it. So we were the finalists in the Turban test drive. We've been incubated also for our startup, and now we're in the acceleration phase. And our mission, this is what we want. We want to develop experiences that make entrepreneurs' lives simpler, SMEs' lives simpler, local businesses, companies, organizations. We want to automate manual business processes using AI technologies, because this can be done. Okay. Okay, this is where the examples of the chatbots are going to come in. I will give you, this is our first product that we developed last year. This was our first business idea. So it is simple. It is just a chatbot which is going to talk to you and provide you sales orders, quotation, invoices. For example, let's say you need to send a quotation to a potential client at the spot. So instead of waiting for you to get back to the office or call your staff, or then open your laptop, go on Excel, what you do is you just remove your smartphone. There is a chatbot waiting for you to talk. So you just tell the chatbot, please, hi, can you send a quotation for me for the stable at 5,000 rupees? And then the chatbot is going to have a conversation with you. It's going to ask you at what email address, where do you want me to send it? And then it is going to generate a quotation in PDF in the chat itself. As you can see on the screen, this is a screenshot of how the chatbot works. So this is instantly, anytime, anywhere, 24/7. Anytime you just remove your smartphone and you talk to the chatbot. It's going to give you a quotation, invoices, or everything that you need. So this was our first product. It's called the Pocket CFO. So it's automating manual business processes, manual tasks, time-consuming tasks, so that you can focus on other stuff. Next, we have Le Pocket Shop. This is an interesting one. We developed this during the first lockdown last year because we saw the challenges that businesses were facing, restaurants, shops. They had to get online as fast as possible. Of course, e-commerce websites are here, but sometimes you can't, the e-commerce website, they have so many shops, so many products, the website is slow and their customers, they can't really use them. Or sometimes you have customers that are not technology savvy. So then what do? So then we decided to develop a shop which is integrated on your Facebook page, where all your items are listed with the price, with the quantity. And again, it's the chatbot which is going to talk to your customer. So let's say I want to order KFC. I go on the Facebook page of KFC. I open the chat. And I will see all the Boxmaster, Zinger, chips that are listed in the chat. I say, okay, I want to order 1 Zinger and 1 Boxmaster. The chatbot is going to tell me, okay, so you've ordered 1 Zinger, 1 Boxmaster. This is a total. What do you want me to deliver? Okay, so this is the sales order for you. And exactly, and the chatbot is going to give you the sales order as well. And then it's going to tell you, well, you can make your digital payment now. How do you want to pay? Juice, debit card, credit card. So this is all integrated. And everything is happening in the chat. No need to leave the application. No need to click everywhere. And instantly, KFC is going to receive a message. Hey, there's an order that has been passed on your Facebook page. Here's the sales order. And that's it. Everything is done. So this is our second product and an example of a chatbot. Okay. All right. Here it's just to tell you that chatbots are very flexible products. They don't have to be in only two products that we've done. We have integrated it. It can be integrated with different platforms. It can be on Facebook Messenger. It can be on WhatsApp. It can be on your website. It can integrate with any tool, any CRM tool, ERP, anything that you want. It can be adapted to different business models. For example, let's say you have a website you have a hotel. Okay, let's take an example of a hotel.
Yeah.
So you have of course you have your website. You are present in Mauritius, in Maldives, everywhere. You have a lot of activities, you have a lot of packages, everything is on your website. So I am someone who wants to book a stay at the hotel and want to know what the kind of activities there are. So I go on your website, but there are so many information. I have to click like 3 times, 4 times to get what I want.
Absolutely.
Eventually, the website is slow and there are a lot of pop-ups that are coming in. There's a video playing there. I'm distracted. So what the chatbot will do there, it will be a small thing, just pop up and asking, hey, can I help you? And then me as a customer, I know exactly what I want. Yes, can you please give me the honeymoon package? What are the prices in Maldives? And then the chatbot is going to say, yes, of course, here's the link that goes exactly where you want. And next, the chatbot is going to say, well, if you want, I can connect you to someone who's going to call you right now. Can you give me your phone, your name, your email address? And this is how, and that's it. You have a customer who has got a seamless experience. It has increased the user experience instead of him getting frustrated on the website. And there are so many things, so many use cases you can use your chatbots.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, and yeah, so this is the kind of my last slide, just to show you where we've been featured. Our products have been featured actually. So they've been talking about us, about our products, and in case someone wants to test our products, to test the chatbot for free, they can just contact me or Nayar, and we will let you test the chatbot, have fun with it for free. So thank you all for attending today, and that was it for me, Anil.
Fantastic, thank you very much indeed. If you can stop sharing your slide. Thank you. Yeah. Before we go into panel discussion, so Chitisha, Kishan, and Nayar, if you can put your video back on, please, and we'll do about 8 minutes of Q&A for Nayar then to take at 7 p.m. So I think I might have a question here already from an anonymous attendee, and I think I'll get that question over to Neha. Which platform you're using to create the website for your entrepreneur? So for I think the question is really, if you have a website, and what type of platform are you using to create your website?
I think what the question is more, which platform we're using to create our chatbots.
Yeah, okay. So
okay.
Either way, so, if you can give me the website and the chat box, both.
Okay, so like I said before, our chatbot can be integrated on any platform that you want. Right now, our 2 products are on Facebook Messenger. Why? Because everybody in Mauritius is on Facebook. It is more easy for businesses to connect with their customer on Facebook right now. Of course, we can do it on your website, on WhatsApp, on anything that you want. So,
and do you have to monitor it? Do you have to manage it after that? Do you have to maintain it?
No, we have a ready-made product, as Nayar can confirm. It's going to go smoothly automatically. The chatbot is going to do everything actually. This is for you. We are doing this for you so that you don't have to do anything. I'm sure a lot of people who have businesses, they receive repeating messages about their products on Facebook or WhatsApp. How much is this product? What's the price? Do you deliver? Can I get this today? All those messages, the chatbot can reply for you so that you can do all the stuff that you want.
Okay, fantastic. All right, Nayar, I've got a question for you. Nayar, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, just a quick question for all of us here. We've got the Juice application, as you know. Where would you put the Juice app in FinTech?
Yeah, so can you explain more about that? Where you put it, like?
But is Juice FinTech? Is Juice FinTech part of FinTech?
Yes, definitely is FinTech, because previously you would have to pay by cash. So now, by just a button press, you can send money to someone else. So it is definitely FinTech. So with Juice, you can also scan QR code. You can send to a phone number. And also you can remove money from the ATMs. It is definitely FinTech.
Okay, fantastic. There's a question from Omar Devi Person. Sorry. Neha, Omar Devi is asking, how secure is Chatbots and any other application you mentioned? How secure are they?
It is secure because, let me tell you, if you're integrating the chatbot on Facebook, for example, it doesn't mean that your data is on Facebook. Your data is on our encrypted server at our end. Facebook is just a medium, is just an interaction for the chatbot to talk with your customer actually. All the data stays with us on our servers, which we can give you like weekly report, weekly, how many sales order, how many quotation, how many invoices have passed. So it is secure. So don't worry about that. Just think of it that it is an interactive medium, because we need to put the chatbot somewhere, because it's a chat. It has to talk with your customer. So that's why. So it doesn't mean that your data is on that.
All right, thank you very much indeed. Chitisha, based on the presentation, what you've seen on Neha, do you think there's a bright future for all the participants watching us right now? I know you've written a lot about things, and you're a fintech champion for women as well. What's your thought on the presentation from Neha today?
Yeah, it's very good. I'm very interested in this because, yeah, as we know, mobile is becoming one of the most important service distribution channels of the future. And now with global competition increasing, fintech actually shows potential to be viable as an alternative or even as an extension to existing services we have. And this is amazing that we have youngsters in the industry, and we get so many exposures from industry skilled people who are putting all their energy in giving us
and what's your thought, especially in COVID, where we can't interact physically? I think it's a blessing in disguise, right? COVID-19 has come in. I know we are all, sympathize with all the people affected by COVID-19, but at the same time, it's a blessing in disguise, right? Let me take the view of Neha quickly, because I think she was nodding there. In COVID-19 right now, are you seeing a rise in fintech?
Yes, of course. Because I think it's new to Mauritius. Of course, it's new to move your business online, but it was new last year when we had our first lockdown. Now I'm seeing that a lot of businesses are adapting. They have already their platform online. They are already reaching and thinking, okay, how do I get my business online at this moment? And they know that the tools are here now. It's not how do I do it? It's who do I reach out to sell my products easily, because everything is there. The chatbot is here, the digital payments are here, the e-commerce websites are here. So you just have to adapt to the changes so that your business will flourish also and it doesn't remain stagnant.
All right, thank you. Kishan, obviously you've heard all this conversation. Do you think Mauritius as a country is advancing at a pace as the developed countries?
It is not at a pace as a developed country, but it is advancing, like we can say 90% of the pace of the developed countries. Because if you see like USA, you see like India, it can be debatable, developed or developing, but there is more transaction happening through fintech in India and China. It's like trillion of dollars a daily. So yes, so here we are advancing, but like there should be more knowledge, like more presentation, more consumer
awareness,
knowledge.
more awareness. Yeah. So at the back of it, Nayar. All right, thank you, Kishan. Nayar, at the back of it, do you think the government need to incentivize people like you, Chitisha, Kishan, to really and Neha as well, to really drive fintech and give you a boost? So do you think the government should really give you a head there?
Yes, of course. Like they already have like the MRIC, they have that to fund research and development in Mauritius. And also we now have the sandbox license, which is going to allow like unregulated businesses to operate. But still, like when you have an idea, in order to get the proper license, it can take you 1 or 2 years. So if you are a startup with no money,
2 years. Wow,
yeah,
that's a long time, my friend.
Yes. So this is the issue that we have, because paperwork can take lots of time. And the pace at which technology is advancing is faster than the legal can catch up.
All right.
So this is a real problem.
Someone else want to share something on that? Okay, so
now I agree with Nayar.
Okay, so I've got a question for you, Nayar. Abhishai, has posted the question, what are your other product development strategies for your company apart from invoices? Will you stick to Facebook, or you will build your own mobile app and develop more product like Stripe and Paystack? This question is dedicated to my friend Nayar. So it seems like a bit of a broman going on there.
Thank you for this question. So right now, we are trying to, we first started with the invoices and quotations, and afterwards we moved to an e-commerce platform. And as we go forward, we will try to make new products such as booking system for hotels, for example. If you want to wash your car, you can book via a chatbot. And of course, we are trying to keep up with the technology as the new technology come up, so we can see how to find solutions to the problems which we have.
Fantastic.
So it is an ongoing process to solve problems. We never sit and say like we have done our job.
Okay, thank you. Neha, there's a question for you. Do you take into consideration the Electronic Transaction Act concerning electronic records management?
I think the Electronic Transaction Act is mostly focused on e-commerce website, right, Nayar?
No, I haven't read it, but
yeah,
no, I don't have.
It's mostly for e-commerce websites, but we don't do e-commerce websites. We do chatbot, which can be integrated in your website. So that's a different product. And yes, we take care. We make sure that if your question is about consumer data, we take care that consumer data is being protected and it's safe.
Okay, I've got two questions before we move on to Nayar. So moving back to Chitisha, what's your thought on the Mighty application, where we can pay our bill, CB, we can book futsal, we can pay all that. I found that amazing. I just found that amazing and made our life so much easier. What's your thought on that? Chitisha.
Yeah, this is great because we are switching from a brick and mortar establishment to next generation banking. This is indeed amazing. And yeah, we have the emergence of a lot of new services that innovators are providing. And we get our services more efficiently, and we get a lot of facilities that are very interesting for users. We don't get headaches in payments, so it's very easy for us.
All right, fantastic. So it reduces headache and it reduces Panadol. Thank you very much, Kishan. Quickly, what's your thought on Mauritius now with Mauritius Telecom and MCB, SBM coming up with the emergence of innovation? What's your thought on that?
Well, they are like following the trend. Like SBM had just launched their mobile app for I think SBM Pocket. So MCB had already had it. Juice mobile had with me. So everyone is going towards the urge of fintech, the growing market, because it's the consumer needs.
Yeah.
And we must like, if you want to stay in the business, you must fulfill the customer need.
Yeah, Neha, we'll get back to you. You don't need to raise your hand. I need to get back to you. So Neha, tell me what you want to tell.
Okay, I just wanted to add and share a little use case story, because we are talking how people are adapting to this new change. Who would have thought that we would have ordered dal puri on an e-commerce website one day and have it delivered?
Wow.
Just, I think it was Saturday, I was craving for some dal puri, and I went on an e-commerce website. It's actually one of my clients before we developed the pocket shop. It was for the first lockdown. So actually his dad has always been selling dal puris on bicycle. So for years, and now when the COVID happened, it's like they felt that the business went down. But then we talked to them. I think I don't know if one of my friend Alex is watching. I remember having this conversation with the dal puri seller, where he told us that he's ready to go online to sell his dal puri. Imagine a dal puri seller who always used his bicycles. Now he said that he's okay with it. Let's go online. Let's sell the dal puri.
So did you order the dal puri then?
Yes.
And was it hot when it arrived?
Yes.
Awesome. So here we are.
Yeah. So if a dal puri seller can go online to sell his dal puri, so what are we waiting for?
All right, awesome. And can I just also add, as well as on the back of it, I was not connected with Mighty, Bill, and all that. A group of friends said, look, we want to play futsal. Can you book the five-a-side futsal for us? And I said, yes, no problem. I actually walked there physically to go and pay for futsal. And they said, we don't take cash. And I said, what do I do? They said, you have to go to Mauritius Telecom, get yourself registered, and then you can pay. And then the lady said, while you're registering, why don't you register for Mighty, CB, CWA, and all of that? So they actually pushed me and drove me there. You know, so they actually compelled me to do it. So fantastic on that. I think I've got one more question there by an anonymous attendee. So this could go back to, maybe I'll get Nayar on this one. Should companies be registered for using the chat box in order to receive orders?
Yes, so you will have to register with us. So we'll set up your platform and also set up the list of products which you have and on which number we are going to notify you when you have an order and so on. So yeah, so you will have to talk with us.
All right, thank you very much. I'm really finding this webinar fascinating. I'm loving every single minute. Let's now take on Nayar's presentation. So if I can ask you to switch off all your videos and Nayar to stay and share your screen. So Nayar, take it away. Can we have a big round of applause, please, for this amazing presentation? So if you can use your little emoji to thanks all the speakers and organizers today. Nayar, if you can share your screen, please. And also your video before we get back live on the final presentation before we conclude the webinar today. I'm not too sure where Niall is gone. I think he was trying to share his presentation. I think there has a bit small gate. So in the meantime, what I will do, if I can have Neha back on the screen, please, while Nayar get back to us. So it's not very fintech on Nayar's part at the moment. There's a question.
No, I think it's not very mighty.
He's not very fintechy. And just quickly.
Okay, he's sharing.
Yeah, he's sharing now. Nayar, can you hear us? Yeah. And if you can just. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so if you can, Neha, if you can switch off your video, thank you. And Nayar, all yours. Thank you very much indeed. Please keep sending your questions. We'll take them after Nayar's presentation. Thank you very much.
Yes, so hello everyone. So we talk about how to get into artificial intelligence and machine learning. So before we dive into the topic, so let me introduce myself. So I'm Nayar. So I'm the co-founder of FinTech alongside Neha. So I do mostly the technical part of it. So we research better ways to do business. So right now we are using chatbot technology in order to facilitate business processes. But tomorrow when we have a new technology, for example, Elon Musk is working on Neuralink. So maybe one day you will be able to just think of a dal puri and you will have a dal puri in front of you. So that's why we are already looking what the next technology could be. And we will try to implement it as we get our access to it. So my academic journey, so I always loved science. So at HSC, I did maths, physics, chemistry, biology sub for a side SSS. So as you can see that in order to do computer science at the university, you don't really need to do computer studies at HSC level. And I would like to ask Anil to put the poll here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And,
so the first poll is, and the first question is, let me just share that with you now. Can you see the question, Nayar?
Yes, yes.
So do you think universities should reduce the amount of theory and be more in line with industry demand? I think that's a great question, Nayar, because we feel that a lot of experience or a lot of students coming out do have the issues of really adapting to the reality of work. So 51% of you have already voted. Do you think universities should reduce the amount of theory and more in line with industry demand and be more work-based? So what's your thought on that? What do you think the percentage would be now?
Well, I think most of us would agree, maybe.
Okay, so I'm just going to end polling there. A whopping 95% says yes.
Oh.
And obviously, only one says no. But yeah, a whopping 95%. Take it away. Thank you very much. Are you surprised by the figure of the percentage?
No, not at all.
All right, thank you. Take it away.
Yeah. So basically, I'm the one who think that theory should be there. Most people, they would try to say that university should be more practical, but I think university is more like, it cannot be like a technical training. So at university, you need to know your theory. So people should not like trying to remove the theory part from university, because that's the back end of everything, you know? And yeah, so I did computer science at University of Mauritius. And right now I'm doing my master's in artificial intelligence. And I'm expecting to finish at the year 2022. So next, so we are going to talk about my professional journey. So after university, I started as a game developer. So I was doing game in JavaScript. And there I learned more about front-end development and a bit web development. But afterwards, I joined a telecom company where I did system administration on Linux. So this was more back-end side, like no, not even back-end, it was more administration side. And after that, I was a research assistant at the University of Mauritius. So that was an awesome experience. So going back to academia after doing work in industry. And after that, I joined a startup which was doing electric car chargers as an IT engineer. So basically what I was doing was develop a car charger for your electric car using Raspberry Pi, so that you can schedule when to charge your car. And even if you have a friend who is coming to your place, so he can book your charger from his phone to your place. So this is the MVP on which we were working on. And after that, I became a cloud engineer. So this is where I got this is where I learned more about cloud technologies and such as Azure and Google Cloud. And right now, I'm the founder of Fintech Ltd. So this is where I'm working full-time now. Yeah, so let's talk about some artificial intelligence applications. So one of the most common area you would see is self-driving cars, for example. So a self-driving car would have lots of cameras, and it has to detect what it has in front of him. If you have a car, you have a person crossing the road, so you need to detect images correctly. And another aspect where you can have image recognition is, for example, if you have a large field of crops and you want to detect diseases in that, or you want to know when your fruits are ripened, so you can just take a drone and fly over it, and then you can have an image recognition who is going to look at the video and tell you that this part of the crop has ripened, or you have a disease with it which is growing up, so you can take remedial action. It is not possible for a human to walk around and have a look one by one to their field. So this is where image recognition can help. And also we can have image recognition for intrusion detection. Let's say in your house, you have your camera system outside. So if you are walking outside, the alarm should not sound. But if someone else gets into your yard, so the image recognition can tell that this person is not registered on a system. So you can have an alarm. So this is how we can use image recognition. The other aspect of AI application is natural language processing, which is where our startup is currently focusing on. So this is used to drive sales for businesses. So for example, you can just say, I want to buy that movie, and the NLP is going to ask you the question, where do you want to deliver, how do you want to pay, and so on. And other use cases for natural language processing would be in the medical domain. Let's say you want to treat people with depression. We have lots of people with depression, and we don't have enough people to listen to them. So you can have a robot that is going to converse with the people in a most human way, and the people can feel more relaxed in that way. So, I mean, it's an awesome tool that we can have with that. And we also use AI in fraud detection. So as you can see that, as Chitisha has said, like we have more and more transactions going online now. So it is not possible for humans to have a look at all transactions, what is going on. Is it legit? Are they trying to clean black money? So all this is done by AI nowadays. So you can train AI to detect fraud. And last case, which we are discussing here, and we have lots of cases more, is a forecasting. Let's say you have a shop, and let's say you want to order, you have eggs, which are short-lived items. So if you order too much eggs in your shop and you don't sell enough, so the eggs are going to rot in your shop after 1 month. No, even 2 weeks, eggs are going to rot. But if you do not have enough eggs in your shop and more people are coming and you are out of stock, so you are losing money because you cannot provide enough. So forecasting is what allows businesses to say that on X day, you should order 100 eggs on that day because we are going to have a surge in demand, because that day would be, you would have a national holiday, for example, or we can have a religious holiday. So this forecasting will allow businesses to better optimize their stock and prevent waste, and also it is good for the environment to not waste lots of items. And all this is good. So now that you know what you can do with AI, so how can you actually get your hands into AI? So Anil, can you put
absolutely, Nayar. Yeah, absolutely. I've just got the question now. And again, if you can help Nayar on this one, in which category you identify for most AI student expert, developer, or business owner? In which category you identify the most when it comes to how to implement AI in Mauritius? Please put your question in. It can be anything, but just follow your heart, follow experience, and follow what you've been exposed to. So we've got about 25 seconds left. In which category you identify most? AI student expert, developer, business owner, on how to implement AI in Mauritius. So fantastic. There are a lot of polls coming in right now, and I'm just going to stop polling now. Okay, so I'm going to share the result. And now this is the result. So AI 76%. Wow, it's coming from the student expert. Developer, 29%. And business owners, 36%. What's your thought on that? I thought developer was going to be the first.
So what I'm trying to do is to tell you right now is that no matter in which category, you should always be interested in AI and try to find ways to implement it. So let's say, for example, the first case, if you're an AI expert or AI student, so what you can do is you can take existing AI framework and you can improve on it. So you can go deep inside how the neural networks are working. And what are the requirements for that is that you need to be passionate about science and you need to be good in math. So you cannot improve on AI if you do not know math. So if you want to get into this topic, please learn your math, correct? And the second part are just developers who are not so good in math. So you don't have to invent AI from the scratch. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. So you have cloud AI on or cloud platforms such as Azure, Google Cloud, and AWS. And you have lots of open source libraries. So if you are a developer, you just take these libraries and you just include it into your application, into your web application or your mobile app. So you don't need to be an expert in order to use AI as a developer. And thirdly, if you are a business owner, what you can do is you need to talk to other people who are not conversant in AI. And what are your requirements is that you need to have the innovation drive. As a business owner, you need to have the passion to bring new product to the market. No matter what industry you are, you should be able to say, yeah, how can I innovate today? And who are the people I can talk to make this possible? And now I'm going to share with some messages to aspiring entrepreneurs. So yeah, ideas are worthless, execution is everything. So if you have an idea of a business or in fintech or AI or in any other domain, do not keep the idea to yourself. Rather, you should tell the world about it and you will get feedback. So the more feedback you get, the more you can know whether you are going to waste your money on it or not. Let's say you spend 1 or 2 years of your life and you spend 1 million rupees to develop something. And then when you put your product in the market and you see no one is going to buy it. So it's better like you get feedback from people before you start putting lots of money in that. And with whom you should talk to your ideas. You should not limit yourself to the people who are going to say that, oh yes, come on, go forward with your business, because you cannot have only positive criticism. If you are someone who likes only positive criticism, you are bound to fail. So you need someone in your friends or other types of people who are going to tell you, wait, this is not going to work. And this is very important for everyone in their business. And also, we hear that in order to grow, so you need to get out of your comfort zone. But I say you should get out of your comfort zone, but why being in it? So let's take for my case, for example, my area of expertise is technology. So I look into the finance world and I see how can I use my expertise to help the finance world. And another aspect would be if I'm a technology guy, I can look at a farmer and think, how can I bring value to his business?
Exactly.
So if you are, so no matter what area you are, you should think like, how can you help another guy in their field? And this is where a real innovation can come from.
Fantastic.
And that's for me. So if you want to know more about our product and you want to contact us, so please free to send us an email. We'll be glad to answer all your questions.
Okay,
so
fantastic.
Thank you, back again.
Thank you very much. Can we have a big round of applause for Nayar, please? Can you put your little emoji hand for this awesome presentation as I try to do a quick conclusion, and I'll get back at one as well. So I'm just going to have a few slides before I come back to you, everyone. Just give me 1 minute before we get to the panel discussion. So I'm going to share this with you now, everyone. And before we get to the final panel discussion, and let me just share the video as well so I can see. Can you see my slide, please? If you can see, please put your hands up, please. That'd be great. Okay, fantastic. So thank you very much indeed for that. Thank you, all of you. We're gonna finally come to with a quick panel discussion. I just want to show you this video here, which is really, really powerful. I wanted to share that with you. Let me just make sure I've got all the logistics set up for that before I can show you. So are you ready for exponential change based on Chitisha, Kishan, Neha, and Nayar's presentation? So I'm going to share this with you now. Let me make sure I've got the share right and go back on YouTube, and off we go. So off we go. And if you can please, if you do hear the sound and the video, please put your hands up for me to know that you're actually seeing it. Off we go. Here we go. Let's go.
Once upon a time, business as usual was often good enough. No more. Where we are going, good enough is dead. In a world where everything is connected, where everything is equally excellent, where performance is reaching perfection, there's only one space left to innovate in: you. Right now, you are a central point in the raging tornado of change fueled by digitization, mobilization, augmentation, disintermediation, automation. Well, the list goes on. Science fiction is becoming science fact. Think about self-driving cars or computers that can learn and think. The way we work will never be the same. The skills we need will be dramatically different. Winning or losing are now happening faster than ever before. So what's your response? How will you discover new opportunities in one of the most transformational times in human history? Are you driving change, or are you being driven by it? Disruption has become the new normal. With change, it's always gradually, then suddenly, well, things really have stopped happening gradually. This change is exponential. Everything that used to be dumb and disconnected is now wired and intelligent. Cars, cities, ports, farms, even our bodies will be wired with sensors and will talk to each other. These game changers are also combinatorial. They amplify each other, creating a perfect storm of change. Quantum computing fuels big data. The Internet of Things fuels artificial intelligence and deep learning, which fuels robotics. However, anything that cannot be digitized or automated will become extremely valuable. Human-only traits such as creativity, imagination, intuition, emotion, and ethics will be even more important in the future, because machines are very good at simulating, but not at being. Yes, robots and software will do some of our work, but this will allow us to focus on things that cannot be automated. To imagine change squared, you've got to start engaging more with what might be, not just with what is. Immerse yourself in the immediate future, 5 to 7 years out from today. We need to go beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom. Technology represents the how of change, but humans represent the why. The future is about holistic business model. The opportunity is to be liquid, to learn just in time, not just in case, not single improvements, but complete transformations, not individual systems, but new ecosystems. Humanity is where true and lasting value is created. We will engage, relate, and buy things because of the experiences they provide, because of their transformative power. The future doesn't just happen. The future gets happened. The new way to work is to embrace technology, but not to become it. The future is in technology, yet the bigger future lies in transcending it. Let's live and lead from here.
Okay, so as you can see there, awesome presentation, and I'm just going to go back to the slide here. So fantastic. Thank you very much indeed for watching that. I think that's a very, very good video. If you like it, just put your hands up as well. I think it's really powerful as well. Are you ready for exponential change? Just quick one in terms of leadership. It's construction based, but I think it's really related to everything. We know that the first industrial revolution was to do with mechanization driven by water and steam power. Second industrial revolution was electricity. The third one was computer automation. And the fourth one is all about what Neha, Nayar, Kishan, and Chitisha just talked about. So all of that's kicking off now: sensors, big data, blockchain, 3D printing, Uber, robotic drone, AI, Internet of Things, and all it needs is digital leadership. So we have to brace for that. I want to share this book, which I read recently. And this book is all about it. Open access pivot, demonstrate how a variety of technologies act as innovation catalysts within the banking and financial services sector, traditional bank and finance services are under increased competition from global IT companies such as Google, Apple, Amazon, and PayPal, whilst facing pressure from investors to reduce costs, increase agility, and more importantly, improve customer retention. It also goes on to say that technologies such as blockchain, cloud computing, mobile technologies, big data, analytics, and social media therefore have perhaps more potential in this industry and areas of business than any other. And finally, this book defined a fintech ecosystem, which again was talked about in the presentation, for the 21st century, providing a state-of-the-art review of current literature, suggestion avenues for new research, and offering perspective from business, technology, and industry. So I'm just going to do a final survey before we go back to the panel discussion quickly. So that's my final survey to all of you. And again, be honest about the survey. Would love to have your views on that one. And here we go. So based on the information and inspiring presentation today, would you like to become a fintech? So let me have your views, please, as we pick up that. So based on the information and presentation today already, so most of you have already voted, and I'm just going to share the result. So can I have, so the video is back on, please. And if I can have all the speakers back on, if you can put your videos on, thank you. So, right, I'm just going to relaunch polling because I think something went wrong there. So I'm just going to relaunch the polling to go live. I do apologize. And again, if you can please vote based on the information and inspiring presentation today, would you like to become a fintech champion? I think it's going to be awesome. And most of you have already voted. And if you can please put the vote in again. All right, so here we go. So what do you think, everyone? What's your thoughts today? Well, what do you think, Chitisha? Do you think that you've actually convinced the participant?
I really hope so, but I don't know. Maybe some of them are scared of change, but we don't know. Yeah. All right,
Kishan, quickly.
I think you will have 100% yes.
Okay, Neha.
I think there will be more yes.
Okay, and Nayar.
I join Kishan on this one, 100%.
Okay, here we go. The result is here. 100% want to go for a fintech champion already based on this inspiring presentation. So thank you very much indeed, everyone. Before I conclude on that, so I just want to say thank you to Chitisha, Kishan, Neha, and Nayar. You know, guys, you're extremely impressed by you, a fintech champion, for your kindness, energy, determination to share your experiences, wisdom, knowledge, and for being a role model for our country. People like you will inspire many more. And finally, on behalf of the participant and the bottom of my heart, thank you for giving back your time and effort. I just want to share this with you all as well. This is a great quote. I got that from one of the social media, so it's not really legible. But what Robin Sharma goes on to say, I remember when I was a lawyer, just starting my professional career, I asked the top lawyer at the firm what I needed to do to ensure a sustained career. I'll never forget his reply. The lawyer says, Robin, be so knowledgeable, competent, and brilliant at what you do that this firm can't run without you. Become indispensable. And what Robin said was a spectacular advice. What Robin says then is that awareness precedes choice, which precedes result. As you learn what the best do, you will develop new awareness. With better awareness, you will make better choices. And with better choices, you're certain to see better result. Investing in learning and getting your skills to world class is the smartest investment you will ever make. Master your craft and you will get greatness. So I think that's a fantastic quote there by Robin Sharma. Take care, be safe. We're all in lockdown, as we know. So make sure you socially distance yourself on this webinar. So I'm just going to go back to the panel discussion for 10 minutes before we conclude. I think someone is missing on the screen. I think it's me, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
so
we can see you.
Can you see me? Okay.
Yeah.
So fantastic. I just want making sure I've got myself here. Here we go. All right, so I've got a few questions. So let's stop the result. Thank you everyone for voting 100% there. And we go back to the question quickly. We've got about 10 minutes left. There was a question to you in terms of, Neha, the chat box. You talk about the services. Is there any fee to pay? Obviously, they will have to pay you a fee, but do you have to pay a regular fee?
Actually, let's say you want to get the Facebook shop integrated. So there is only a one-time fee, a setup fee for the integration, of course, so that we get all your products, all your information integrated and set up. And then there will be a recurring fee monthly. That's 1,000. The setup fee is 5,000 only.
Okay. All right. So setup is 5,000, and then the monthly fee is 1,000.
Yeah.
To maintain the chat box and the facility that goes with it.
All, exactly.
To maintain it, to have a backup as well. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nayar, there was a question to you when you were talking about your presentation. It's from an anonymous attendee. He or she says, what programming language has been used to develop all your application?
Okay, so we have used several programming languages, but most of our AI part is done in Python. So most of the AI development are done in Python nowadays. So if you're a student, so you should get into Python. And all our front end, like integration and other coding are done in Node.js. So it is a JavaScript-based language. So these two languages are the backbone of our infrastructure.
Okay, fantastic.
So, Python and Node.js.
All right, thank you. Kishan, Nayar talked about maths and physics and also talk about STEM, which is the science, technology, engineering, maths. What's your advice to everyone watching? Why is it so important to embark on STEM? What's your thought on that?
It is important because it's like the basic of the programming language. You can learn it. I advise everyone to learn it, to like go for it. Even you don't have much, just go for it. Learn the math, and that is, you will succeed. If there's a will, there is your way.
Wow. So you sounds like Robin Sharma, Kishan. Thank you very much indeed. Where there's a will, there's a way. Fantastic there. Chitisha, just quickly, why STEM is so important, especially all the ladies watching. They can inspire the cousin, they can inspire the daughters, the son. Why STEM is so important to really embrace and really get to what Neha and Nayar is doing?
Yeah, STEM, as you said, is very important because we have so many openings nowadays. We have so many subsets of, like, for example, in AI, we have machine learning, deep learning, and so on. They also evolving day by day. And we have so many things that we get to learn, and they are very interesting as well. So that's why STEM is the future. We want to get ahead with technology. We want to get ahead with science. And we want to make people love it so much that they inspire others to do it as well.
Okay, fantastic. And just quickly, in terms of, if I go back to Neha, I'm not too sure why the screen keeps revolving, but we've got 5 minutes left. The robot is taking over. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Neha, just quickly, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're a co-founder of a firm with Nayar. Everybody watching you right now and will be watching on the recording on YouTube. What's the benefit of being an entrepreneur? What's the beauty? Obviously, it's hard work. You're going to need to work 24/7. But what's the benefit to be an entrepreneur, especially in fintech?
I would say if you have a passion, if you love what you do, and you should do what you love. So that's basically my motto. So being an entrepreneur, it doesn't mean that you're going to be on the beach all the time with your beer and all. It means hard work, yeah, like I said. But if you have a passion for it, it's not going to feel like hard work. It's going to feel like you're working for something that you love. So no matter how many hours you're going to be working on your startup, on your idea, it will be like it's your baby, you know. So it doesn't feel like it. It feels the satisfaction, the happiness that you're going to get from it. It's something else.
Okay.
So just go for it if you want.
I have recently read an article that in the US, from the statistics, last year there was a shortfall of 500,000 workers in the technology, AI technology field, specifically AI and technology. It is assumed to be 6.1 million in 2030, just in the United States.
Wow.
So just think what about the globe?
Absolutely. But also, Neha, you can go to the beach, and if you have 4G, you can work from there, right?
Exactly.
So
No, I meant like it's not like you're only going to be you know, when people think that you have your own business, it's like okay, you're not working, you're just delegating, you have employees, but actually it's actually the contrary. You're at the head. You have to take difficult decision, tough decision all the time, and we have to be accountable. We have to take all the responsibility that's going on in the company, around the company. So if you definitely, there's a future in fintech, in AI, in machine learning. So if you want to go through that, you need to have a passion for it. You need to be willing to continue learn on it, and then you just do it. But if you don't love it, don't do it.
Okay, fantastic.
It's as simple as that.
Nayar, Nayar, are you there, Nayar? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Nayar,
Yes.
Neha talk about passion, right? I've got passion. I know what she's talking. And can you relate to the passion to the participant? Why passion is important? So you guys, I take it, you wake up, you want to change the world, right? Because you love it so much. So Nayar, could you give some of your tips to everyone watching right now? If you don't love it, don't do it. But if you do, go for it. And like Kishan say, well, there's a will, there's a way. Could you give me some hints and tips from your side, please, Nayar?
Well, I don't know where to start. So,
are you a bit emotional?
No, when you're passionate, yeah, a bit. So, passion is like when you start doing something, so you will try to go deep, 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 and you learn all the aspects of it. So that you become the expert. So, if you are just given a task, like your project manager would give you a to-do list to do, so you would just do the minimum in order to just fill in the boxes. But if you are passionate, this is where you will try to get deep, and this is where you will start to shine, and this is where innovation comes from.
And do you think you have the passion? Do you have the passion, Nayar? Do you have the passion?
I think so. I have passion.
Yeah, I can tell all of you here are super passionate. Kishan, again, I want to touch on passion there. You guys are doing this webinar. You started it, and I'm sure there's many more to come when it comes to fintech. Before I go to Chitisha, what's your thought on being passionate and really, be passionate about figures and really work your minds out to get to the next innovation? What's your thought on that?
Like Neha said, if you don't get passionate about it, just don't do it. If you get passionate, everyone has something that he loves to do, or he or she loves to do. So just go for that thing. You will see that it's an evolving thing. You will touch base everything throughout this passion. Okay. Maybe art, finance, computer, mathematics. It's like just the entry of naming it. It is just a name, but the passion and the way you pour for yourself will be there.
Okay, Kishan, thank you very much indeed. Chitisha, obviously this is our first webinar, but you've seen Neha already. She's gone to the space, I think. with the passion there. Nayar is still in Mauritius. But why you think that if you don't love it, don't do it? So like you've seen two examples of two great entrepreneurs. What's your thought on them and why we need to be passionate in what we do?
Yeah, exactly. What they said is very inspiring because if we are not passionate about what we do, we are not going to give everything our best in it. So if you are passionate, we give our best, we give our soul to the work, and this is going to make everything great. This is going to make even every hard work easy for us. So what they said is very, yeah, I agree on your point.
And Chitisha, you talk about fintech women and what's the work, what's the plan in the future? What are you trying to do to encourage more women? You're going to go to universities, bringing Neha and Nayar with you, going to colleges. What's the plan?
Yeah, maybe we want to start a hands-on workshop in AI in fintech. Maybe if we can have their collaboration, it would be great. We want to have students get involved in the industries, promoting fintech. We want to take it very international. We want to get access to latest technologies. We want to get access to, we have emergence of Bitcoin, we have cryptocurrency. We want to get ahead with all these technology because all things considered, in all that we are doing, we are in the very early stages of the innovation cycle of technology in Mauritius. So we want to take this to another level, and hopefully with the collaboration of Neha and Nayar, we may make this possible.
Okay, any question, please? I think there's a question, someone has raised their hand. If you can put your question, please. We'll take the question quickly. I think Lisa has raised her hand. So if you can just take your time, put the question in before we've got a few more minutes, don't worry, we're not going anywhere yet. Neha, just quickly, I saw on social media that you guys, MCB, had written an article about you guys. Is that right? MCB, you were connected with MCB recently. Could you tell us a bit more about that, please?
I think the article that you're referring is because it's from Turbine, which is in partnership with MCB. So yeah, so this is where the article comes from. We have the chance to meet with them and talk with them also. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So we've got yeah, go on, sorry.
No, it's okay, go on.
Okay, so I'll take a final question to all of you guys. Surely now, what we're doing right now, we're already advanced in the world, we're catching up with all the big webinars. Nayar, the question goes to you first. Do you think now we can catch up with all the developed countries? Because we have Wi-Fi at the tip of our finger, we can do things move faster. What's the barriers blocking us to get to the developing countries? Surely there aren't many, right?
Yes, so first of all, I would like to say that Mauritius has lots of talent, but lots of my friends also, they do have a brain drain problem here. So you will, if you go to USA, you will see lots of Mauritians, they are working for the USA. So I would like people to stay in Mauritius and try to work for this country because we have everything here. Like previously we didn't have mobile data, now we have mobile data. Like, I mean, we have everything right now. And we will have lots of open source technologies. So anyone in his free time, he can go on GitHub and start coding. So I think we do have everything. And if someone is stuck, so they can just come to us and we can guide them and where to go.
So are you, Nayar, are you becoming like a mentor where we can reach out to you and you can mentor people to really get some advice and become a better self of themselves?
Yeah, so right now we are offering internships at our company. So this is one form of mentorship which we can offer.
You're providing internship in your company already?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Wow, this is fantastic news. Can we put a quick emoji hand, please, for this? Can you raise your hand? Because it's amazing. This is a story of really like, you know, providing internship. That's fantastic. All right, thank you. And what's the internship sounds like? Would it be few days a week? What's happening with that?
Well, so right now we have like a 2-month internship. So it depends on if we can get the college students and also the legal aspect of it. So we will try to see what we can do to get more people on board in this exciting technology, I would say.
All right, thank you. Kishan, we've got a few minutes left before we conclude now. Kishan, again, so your final thoughts in terms of, you had lots of banking experience. Why, and you talk about the, being the future of Fintech champion, but why, again, as I said, why do we need to embrace it now or never?
Because you got to do it now, because as the era of the technology has gone, we have reached like maybe a point where it slowed down. It has been rapidly moving, yes, but maybe now it's slowed down towards the next generation. But like I said, there will be a great shortfall in the point, in the aspect of the employability in the sector of the AI and fintech.
And Kishan,
So
just a quick one, Kishan, just a quick one. I think Nayar raised a good question earlier about why we need to have students who are work-based. So why they need to have more hands-on experience. What's your thought on that? How do we approach universities and colleges to get students to know the reality in the world we are all working?
I think I totally agree with Nayar that it should be more like practical, real-world learning than theoretical. So one way we can do it is the number of months or hours in the internship to get the degree.
All right, thank you. Just going back to Chitisha, why do we have to have more work-based curriculum activities as opposed to students coming out and think like, wow, this is a shock, I don't know what to do? What's your advice on that, and how do we really tackle that issue?
The main reason for that is because when we go to the industry, they don't ask us about what theory we have learned. They ask us about how we can implement these theories mostly. And the best way to implement it is by starting developing, by starting applying whatever we have learned to real life situation, real time cases. So yeah, so like we are now, we are more closely connected. So making a progress in the right direction requires a lot of effort on our side. So we have to start somewhere. Finally.
Okay, thank you very much. And we've got a few minutes left. Like I said, 6 minutes left, but I've got a few more questions to ask you. Neha, quickly, you're an entrepreneur. You're a co-founder. We are all proud of you and Nayar. What's your advice in terms of having the work-based experience from university to work-based? How do you break that? How do you break that bridge?
Very interesting question. Okay, I would say it's not at university. It's mostly theory. So when you go really into the work life, and even from 9 to 5 job to jumping into entrepreneurship and launching your venture, it's a big difference, not the same thing. Of course, it comes with mastering your skills, experience, listening to people who've been there, and taking advice, networking with people. Especially if you want to launch your startup, if you have a business idea, if you have your passion that you want to follow, you can't do it behind your screen. Unfortunately, you have to go out. You have to go outside your comfort zone. You have to meet people. You have to network. Networking is very important. This is how you will listen to the challenges, to the difficulties that other businesses or the entrepreneurs or the people even in the 9-to-5 job have had. So then you learn from them. You learn from them and you don't do the same mistakes. Of course, you do mistakes and then you learn from your mistakes as well.
Okay, fantastic.
So I don't think there's a book for that I think everyone lives it differently. Just it's a unique experience, but if you really want to do it, you'll do it. Like Kishan said, when there's a will, there's a way.
Fantastic. I'm going to take the last question. We've got.
I have to say something like in the work-based experience, you've got a lot of opportunities to think outside the box. Like in the theoretical, you just learn what is written, just follow the guideline. But in the work-based, you have to think outside the box. How to get the job done. The main thing is get the job done. Whether you use X theories, Y theories, Z theories, or your theories, just get the work done. And
okay. All right, thank you. It's all about being a doer. As I think Nayar say, execute. You know, let's walk the talk, as we say. So final question, we've got 3 minutes left. I'm going to start with Nayar right at the bottom. What's the best advice you've got from your parents, Nayar? You seem all to be, you seem to be all very passionate. You seem to be really good kids. I'll say kids because I'm quite old. So you seem very inspiring people and guys and girls. What's the best advice you've got and support from your parent? Quickly.
Well, I think it would be honesty, to never lie to anyone. And I think I've always done that, most that I can. So always speaking the truth.
Okay. All right. So honesty and being truthful to who you are. Thank you, Nayar. Can we have a big round of applause for Nayar, please, on this 2-hour session? If you can put your hands up, please, for Nayar. And then we'll move back to Kishan. Kishan, what's the best advice you got from your parents?
You hold the destiny in your hand, so it is not like
just go by the hand. Okay.
Yeah, just don't believe in the lines or whatever. You have been in this world. You've got to create your way. You got the destiny in your hand.
So your destiny meaning
you want to like do diamond, do gold with your hand, you will be able.
So what you're saying, Kishan, is believe in yourself.
Yes.
All right. So we've got honesty, truthful, believe in yourself, be driven, right? And go and get it. I'll move on to Neha and then go to Chitisha. Neha, what's the best advice your parents got? Again, like I said, you and Nayar seems to be the rising star in tech in Mauritius. So Neha, what's your advice, the best advice you got from parents?
I think it would be never give up. That's from my dad. He did not say it, but I saw, I observed, I lived it. So today I don't know how to give up, unfortunately. So never give up on your passion, on something or someone that you truly believe on. So giving up is really easy. It's the easiest thing, but not giving up is the hardest thing.
Wow.
So if you really have, that's what you really want, it's about not giving up. And because it's going to get hard. So this is what, yeah.
All right, fantastic. So already there, we've got about don't give up, honesty, truthful, and also believe in yourself. And finally, we conclude with the lead organizer of the talk, Chitisha. What's your final advice? Obviously, you'll thank everybody as well. So I think you have a slide you would like to share quickly to thank everyone before we get the final word from you. So everyone stay where you are. We've already got 20 of you still watching us. Chitisha would like to share a quick slide to thank everyone. Yeah, so if you can just, again, if the slides works, should be right. And in the meantime, Cedric Poiley, thank you, Cedric. Cedric goes on to say, free stuff, internship internship, and internship. I think that's a great advice there. Chitisha, final word there before we get back to you.
Yeah, so I really want to express my heartfelt thank you to all the team. We have you, Anil, who have been very supportive in this project, and you have guided us in the right direction. We have Neha and Nayar. Thank you for your amazing presentation, and thank you for reverting back to me on this project, because I had a lot of we had a lot of people who have contacted, but they never showed up, and I'm very thankful that you're doing this. You're very young, and I wish you all the best in your career. And also thank you to Kishan, who has been very supportive in all the way. And yeah, so, and big thanks to all the participants. Yeah, so we want to do a lot more of webinars in the future, and we'll be blessed to have your participation ahead with this.
Fantastic. We have now, unfortunately, reached the end, and I think Nayar's gone as well. I'm not too sure where Nayar's gone. Nayar, can you put your video back on, please? Don't know what happened there. Nayar's back. So we have unfortunately reached, because I say unfortunately because we could have been here for the next 2 hours. So 2 hours of talk already, CPD hours which we've done. It will be a recording version which will go on YouTube, of course, and Chitisha will send you the link. So thank you everyone for all the effort for putting this together, and I'm sure many come. So I wish all the participants today and the speakers all the very best in their young life, and there's so many more to go. So can we have a big round of applause, please? Put your hands up, please, for all the participants and speakers and everybody else. Thank you for watching, everyone. It's been great. And can I just say a big wave, everyone, to all the participants before we go. Thank you much indeed. A big wave. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's now dinner time. Thank you much indeed. Bye. And don't forget to share on social media, on LinkedIn, Facebook, to share and celebrate of the webinar today. Take care. Bye.
Bye.